Welcome to the J.R. Perry Show, a highly innovative show for cable and television. The show is based on America's leading corporations giving back to the community. Also, musical entertainment guests. The J.R. Perry Show.
You know, let people know, you know, what you've been doing. And tell me, what have you been doing since the last time I talked to you, Ted?
Working on some solutions, you know, being that this is America and we can put people on the moon and shoot satellites out of the galaxy and put space shuttles and space stations in the air and all kind of other great technologies. I feel that we can take those same kind of technologies and Yankee ingenuity and apply it to homelessness. And we've been doing that to the point to where the powers that be that can make any significant difference, from the mayor's office of Los Angeles to the White House, they've been listening and beginning to act on what we're calling on them to do.
Get into the business of, or wanting to become an actress, you might say.
Well, I always wanted to be a singer, not necessarily an actress, because it just didn't seem to be in reach in Chicago. Although I was an avid movie goer, I was already being, I guess, trained and honed and shaped for it. Then I moved to Detroit. In Detroit, one of the former high school principals happened to be in a supermarket when I went in, and he was doing these stop the customers and taste this and doing little advertising. So he stopped me and he asked me, and he liked what I did. So he said, you know, I'm the president of the Screen Actors Guild here, which I didn't know what that was. That was SAG in Detroit. And so he wanted me to come down and do a show called Juvenile Court. And I learned all these lines and thought I had pages of dialogue.
It's a fact that a lot of the artists listen to the program because they want to stay informed too. They want to know what their fellow artists are doing, because a lot of people think just because you're a well-known singer, you know what everybody else is doing. I mean, Prince doesn't exactly know what Michael is doing all the time, or Shaka Khan. I mean, they're interested in these people too because they're fans, and it's also business. So they listen to the program, and when they hear people mentioning them one way or the other, they of course are interested. And that's why of course they read the fan magazines, because they want to, it's sort of like a barometer. They want to know how people are accepting them, and so the program is just that. But bottom line, it's a...
Got hip to who he was, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All the hits he was writing.
That was
Let me address this to you, Patrice. Chocolate, I should say. You're a new member of the group. How does it feel being a member of Rolls Royce? I mean, a world-known group.
Well, I love Rolls Royce. I was always a fan of theirs. I loved all their material, so it's just been a whole lot of fun for me working with them, because it's given me a chance to sing the songs live that I used to sing on the radio with them, you know.
Right.
So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that must be a real good feeling to, you know, hear the music that you kind of grew up with, and Car Wash and all these other songs, and now here you are, you're part of that nucleus.
He and I are co-producing together.
Okay.
Saida Garrett, writing for Quincy, for his label, for Saida.
Right.
Irene Cara.
Okay.
For my solo album for the brothers, you know, and the list goes.
Here in Los Angeles, the Rodney King issue, and something that I want to just touch on for a second.
Certainly.
And is it true, since that incident, they asked you to come over, or were you already at the Foothill Division?
No, I was transferred to Foothill approximately 1 month, maybe 5 weeks after the Rodney King incident.
And since that time, since you came, have you seen a change in the Foothill Division?
Yes, we've made some changes in Foothill. We've brought in additional personnel. We've tried to bring in people that reflect the community that we serve. So in other words, we have a racial and ethnic mix of officers. In addition, we're doing some other things that's very important. We found out that as a result of the King incident, that we being a police department, we weren't doing a real good job of listening to the community.
I see.
So we've had some outreach program where we're going out to the community.
In the writing end, because you say you wrote for Macmillan,
Yeah, right.
and also Sanford and Son.
Yes, Sanford and Son, Richard Pryor.
Let's just go on. Who you work for? What? Boy,
Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Nell Carter. I was story editor on her show for 4 years. Give me a break.
Really?
And I just finished another thing for HBO, so it's been fun.
Wow. So what do you have to do to be a writer? What brings that creativity out? Because, you know, I know a lot of people out in the audience would want to be a writer to write on TV like you're doing. What does it take?
I think the best advice I ever had from anyone, I was a very bad English student in school. I majored in English, but I didn't like to write. I didn't enjoy it. And some years later, I was working with Harold Robbins, who's a very famous novelist and the #1 selling novelist in the world. And he told me, you write.
Okay, hey, we're back, and we're with Mr. Richard Steele. How you doing, sir? Great. I'm very pleased to have you on my show and to hear a lot of the great things about you and to be able to be here in your great club. Let's talk about that. How did you get that going? What made you do that, I should say?
First of all, I love boxing, and I know how much boxing has done for me, and how much boxing has done for so many other young kids that are out there lost, don't know what to do, don't know how to protect themselves, and don't know what to do with the money that they have. You know, so boxing is a sport that not only show you how to protect yourself, but it gives you a demeanor. It gives you something to grow for. It gives you something to work for. And it gives you a sense of love for everyone.
I totally agree with that. I think great.
To you, Steve, how does it feel working on stage with the kids in you know, comparisons of working with the adults? I mean, what do you get?
Well, working with the kids, that's the most. I mean, we both really enjoy it. The kids seem to really love to express themselves. You know, they like to show what they can do. And so when we're doing shows with kids, we like to involve them, you know. So what we do is we'll bring them up on stage with us, have them make up games and things right there with us, or we go out into the audience, you know. The whole thing is to create a fun experience where everybody can be involved.
Right. That's happening, man. I like that. I like what you guys are doing with the kids and the, you know, the participation thing. You know, I was watching the video, which we're going to show a clip of one of the concerts.
Yeah, I have a song on Madonna's album, Who's That Girl album. Actually working with David Williams right now, does a lot of Michael Jackson's arranging.
Yeah.
And guitaring.
Right.
Great guitarist.
Yeah, Mike, matter of fact, Dave was on the show
David Williams,
last
really?
year.
Oh, he's so great, yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know you're working on your thing right now.
Yeah, I was very lucky to hook up with a guy called Jim Wasinski, who runs ABC Records.
Right.
And he sort of liked a lot of the songs that I wrote, and we're busy recording them with some great people, working with Shel Talmy, who produced Talking.
We're doing a benefit for a group called Nakama, which means compassion in Hebrew, and it's a response in the Jewish community to the problem of AIDS. There was some difficulty within the Jewish community admitting to the fact that it was a problem within their own community, and so they felt that it was important to have a response to the many people who were struggling with AIDS, and of course families as well.
Right.
So they started an organization called Nakama, which, although it is primarily for the Jewish community, really provides services to anybody who has AIDS within the community of Los Angeles.
I see. So it's basically an organization that has a foundation for the Jewish people, but they're willing to work with various people.
Let it be right, let it be all the people in the world. Let it be right in the world tonight. Starting for you, starting for me, and everybody that we see. Let it be right. World tonight. I love you, America. I love you more than words could ever say. I love you, America. I love you more than words could say. Pump it up. We're gonna play some dances. Let's do that twist. We know we're gonna be a lot of fun to do. Come on, everybody, and do the schoolhouse twist. Come on, everybody, let's do the schoolhouse twist.
president.
Okay.
By the name of Gerald Busby.
Okay.
And Gerald has just taken what Barry has done and Barry's family,
Right.
what they've built, and taken it to the next level.
Right
you
on.
know? And it's a beautiful thing, man, for me to be there and watching it progress in the in the short time that I've been there. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and like the new Motown. Well, I shouldn't say the new Motown because it's Motown.
Right.
You know, they've always been progressive on innovative acts. You know, doing that frontier move. Feel working with Michael Jackson.
Michael, you know what? It was when we first started working together.
Mm-hmm.
We were real, standoffish kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But about 2 years after working with him, we became best friends. We're like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because he don't really have too many friends.
No,
I mean, he has friends,
he don't have
but
any,
not really best friends.
No, I'm the only guy. I'm one of the only guys I can say today. I'm one of the only guys he trusts.
Listen, give me a little, you don't have to be in, totally in depth, but give me an idea of some of the entertainers that you deal with on your...
I represent John Singleton, Boys in the Hood, right. Felicia Rashad on The Cosby Show, her sister Debbie Allen, Debbie's husband, Norm Nixon, Felicia's husband, Ahmad Rashad, Lee Bailey, Communications.
Right.
Lee has a syndicated radio show called Radioscope. That's probably what more people would recognize.
Right.
Jackie Joyner Kersey, is obviously a world-class track athlete. I'm sure I'm leaving some people out, but those are a lot of the names.
I just wanted a general idea, I mean.
And Los Angeles disc jockey J.J. Johnson's been a client of mine for many, many years.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so you're pretty rounded with the entertainment, from sports to actors to music, and that's
I'm blessed,
great.
JR. I'm blessed.
Then you moved on, like I said, to doing some television work. You were what, a coordinator, talent coordinator at one point?
Yeah, the way that came about, I guess I kind of became the premier African-American concert promoter in America. I used to do the Supremes and the Four Tops and the Temptations, all the Motown acts, Al Green. I did Stevie Wonder's world tour, probably the first African-American to do an international tour. And so all of the acts were my friends. I became very familiar with them. And when Don Canillas started his show, Soul Train, it was first started out as a local show in Chicago, and then they talked Johnson into sponsoring the show, and it became a nationally syndicated show. But they only started out with about 7 markets.
I see.
And you, being a television host and producer, you know how difficult it is to get the eminent personalities to show up. Being a young African-American entrepreneur, and Don Canillas was having the same problem. So he approached me about becoming his partner, and my primary responsibility was to book the talent for the show, since all the talent worked for me and I knew them all. So it was a natural for me, and I started booking all of the big name talent for Soul Train. That's when we started getting the Temps and